transfer portal has been a massive part of college basketball and in college sports in general over the past few years since they made the rule change. And if you're wondering what that rule change is, it's pretty much that there are no rules. Players can enter the transfer portal whenever and however many times that they really want to, unless the NCAA just randomly decides they just want to deny your waiver just because. But that's honestly really rare, and just the NCAA does it when they want to. It's a really flawed system, but in this flawed system, there has been players that have entered the transfer portal this year for the fourth or maybe even more than 4 times. And I want to go over all those players that I have found that have entered the transfer portal 4 or more times in this year's transfer portal and just kind of go over their path through these teams and how it's turned out so far. So subscribe if you guys are new. Ton of college basketball content here on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Almost at 10,000, so help us get there. Let's get right into it. The first player I want to talk about in this video is kind of the poster child for entering the transfer portal so many times. That is AJ Storr. He is on his 4th different team in 4 years of college, and he's also, what's the interesting thing about him is he's gone to 4 different high schools whenever he was in high school. So he was already moving around different schools and different prep schools before he even got to college. And we're going to talk about that too. But he started his freshman year at St. John's, where he averaged 8 points per game, 2 rebounds, and an assist. You know, a decent freshman season. He then transferred to Wisconsin in his sophomore year, where he really took off, averaged 17 points per game, was Wisconsin's star player, and a lot of people thought that he was one of the best players, not only in the Big Ten, but really in the country. And he was entering the transfer portal again. I thought that he would stay at Wisconsin, having so much success there, averaging a lot of points, but he entered the transfer portal again and was one of the top players in the transfer portal that offseason. He went to Kansas, where I'm guessing he got a lot of NIL money, and he only averaged 6 points per game, 2 rebounds, and an assist, and really was one of the more disappointing transfers, if not the most disappointing transfer of last season. So he enters the portal again for the 3rd time to join his 4th team this offseason in Ole Miss to go play for Chris Beard. I actually don't think that that is a bad place for him. I actually think that he could have some success next season in his senior year at Ole Miss, but holy cow, man, this guy is entering the transfer portal. I don't know if it's purely a money situation, looking for NIL. When he went to Wisconsin, I feel like if he would have stayed there, even better. And he chased the bag at Kansas, didn't work out for him. We'll see how he will do at Ole Miss. But like I said, he went to 4 different high schools when he was in high school, and those high schools were Kankakee in Illinois. He went to Bishop Gorman High School in Nevada, and then transferred to Arizona Compass Prep in Arizona, of course, and then finally IMG Academy, which of course is a very popular prep school for basketball players, and that is in Florida. So all around the country throughout his high school years, going to different schools, and I get it in high school, man. You know, a lot of these players want to go to prep school. They want to play the best competition, and then with these rules in college, he was able to do the same thing, find NIL deals where he wanted to play, and he's one of the players who took full advantage of that. Next player is Devin Ascu, and he originally did commit to Kentucky, and he was a 4-star recruit, actually the number 39th recruit in his class, which was the class of 2020, and in his freshman year at Kentucky, he averaged 6 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Not too bad for a freshman guard. He was a 4-star, but he actually entered the portal after that, and he went to Texas for his sophomore season, where he only averaged 2 points per game, so actually declined. Maybe not such a good decision for Devin Ascu, but then after that, only averaged 2 points in his sophomore year. Transferred to his 3rd team, which was Cal, and he played 2 seasons there, his junior and his senior year, but only played 19 games total in those 2 seasons. And in those 19 games, he averaged around 15 points per game. So definitely getting a lot better and seeing, so, getting a lot of shots and playing time when he does get to play in those 19 games. But because of injury, I think he actually did get another year of eligibility granted during one of those 2 years. He did transfer after his senior year to his 4th team, which was Long Beach State last season, where he did average 19 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Absolutely electric. 4 teams in 5 years. But wait, that is not all. He is back in the portal again, somehow another year of eligibility granted to go to his 5th school in 6 years. He has transferred and committed to Villanova to play next season, and we'll see how he does, man. 6'3" guard. He was a 4-star recruit in 2020. Now on his 5th team in 6 years. Let me know what do you guys think about Devin Ascu. I honestly don't know how he has so much eligibility. I'm guessing he got an injury redshirt one of those years that he was at Cal. And then possibly a COVID year because he was recruited in 2020. So that sounds about right to me. But 6th year college coming up next season at Villanova on his 5th team. Next player we're going to be talking about is Elijah Fischer, a 6'6" guard, and he started his collegiate career at Texas Tech for his freshman year, where he averaged 3 points per game, and then after that season he did go and transfer to DePaul, where he averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. After that, transferred to Pacific University this past season, where he averaged 15 points per game, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Definitely his best season. Gets better and better every year. And this season, he is transferring for his 4th time in 4 years to play for Seton Hall. So started at Texas Tech, went to DePaul, down to Pacific, away from the Power 5 teams. Now he's back in the Power 5 in the Big East to play for Seton Hall. So no extra years of eligibility granted for Elijah Fischer yet. Just straight up 4 years, 4 different teams, just like AJ Storr did. And yeah, we'll see how he will be able to do here at Seton Hall this upcoming season. Next up, our next transfer we're going to be talking about is Duke Miles, and this is actually a pretty crazy situation that Duke Miles has been in. So these are all players that have transferred to at least 4 schools, remember that. He started his career at Troy for 3 seasons. Freshman, sophomore, junior year, he was at Troy University, where he averaged 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in those 3 years. And then for his senior year, he does decide to transfer to High Point, where he did average 17 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Was definitely a very good piece to those pretty good High Point teams there. Then transferred again, another senior year. This would be his 5th season to Oklahoma. So I'm guessing maybe a COVID year in there something. Transferred to Oklahoma this past season, averaged 9 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. So that is 3 schools in 5 years. But that is not all. He has 1 more year of eligibility coming up this next upcoming season, where he is going to be playing at Vanderbilt. His 4th team in 6 different seasons of college. But it was a wild ride for Duke Miles to get there. He did commit to Virginia this past season from Oklahoma at first, and then decommitted, decided to go to Texas A&M and committed to play there, and then decommitted again and finally landed on Vanderbilt. So we won't count Virginia and Texas A&M, but he was committed to play for them next year, changed his mind, decided to go to Vanderbilt. So really, we're just going to count it as 4 teams in 6 years, but really you could say 7 different teams if you really wanted to, which is pretty crazy. Just a few more players to talk about that have accomplished this feat this season, this offseason. The next one is Dominic Harris, which was actually another 4-star recruit out of high school in 2020, was a top 100 recruit, I think number 97 of 2020, a 6'3" guard, and he had originally committed to Gonzaga where he played for 2 seasons, only averaging 3 points per game in those 2 years. Then, after his sophomore year at Gonzaga, he did enter the portal and decided to transfer to Loyola Marymount, where he did have a very good season, averaging 14 points and 3 rebounds a game as a guard, and then enters the transfer portal again for his senior year to play his senior season at UCLA, where he did only average 1 point per game this past season, and then this current offseason, he transferred again to play for his 4th school in 5 years. This will be his 5th season of college basketball coming up, and he will be playing for Loyola Chicago. So Gonzaga for 2 years, Loyola Marymount his junior year, UCLA his senior year, and his super senior year this upcoming season he will be playing at Loyola Chicago. So hopefully we will see a lot more of what we've seen at Loyola Marymount, where he was averaging 14 points per game, and not what we saw last year at UCLA, where he didn't get much PT and he only averaged 1 point per game. So rooting for Dominic Harris. Hopefully he has found his spot and he can play good for the Ramblers this season. And the next player is an interesting one because I actually did not know until doing further research for this video that PJ Hagerty started his collegiate career at TCU. Yes, he did commit out of high school to TCU, but he was redshirted. So he did, I'm not sure if he played a couple games. I know that you can play a few games and still get redshirted, and I think that is what happened. But he was committed and redshirted on TCU, so we will count that. He spent his redshirt freshman year at TCU, entered the transfer portal, spent his now real freshman season playing for Tulsa, and he immediately made a big-time impact, averaging 21 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, just being one of the best freshmen in the country. Entered the transfer portal as, if not the top transfer in the country, coming off his freshman season at Tulsa, decided to go play for Coach Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers, where he was phenomenal last year, averaging 21 points per game, again, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Just so good for Memphis. One of the best point guards in the country. And I thought there was no reason for him to transfer from Memphis. I thought that he would come back, play again for the Tigers, and be Penny Hardaway's guy. But no, he was chasing the bag. That is the rumor out there. He entered the transfer portal again, and he will be playing his junior season at Kansas State, which will be his 4th team in 4 years. And he definitely still has another year of eligibility. This was his junior year because he was redshirted. So he could actually be one that could pull the feet of 5 teams in 5 years. We'll see if he will be able to do it, or maybe he will decide to enter the NBA draft after this year at Kansas State. Jerome Tang's a great coach. Maybe he'll stay at Kansas State. We will see, but he has accomplished 4 teams in 4 years. And the last player we are going to be talking about is a player that is kind of questionable to accomplish this, and that is if his waiver gets accepted by the NCAA, he will be on his 4th team, and I honestly don't think it should be accepted, but we will see. And that player is Tyon Grant Foster, and of course, he did play these last few years at Grand Canyon, where he was excellent, led them to some NCAA tournaments, even got a March Madness win. But he came out of high school in 2018, guys. That was 7 years ago. And he still possibly could be playing college basketball this next upcoming season. So in 2018, he went to play for JUCO. He played in JUCO from 2018 to 2020. In 2020, he did commit to play for Kansas, and that was his junior year of college. So in his junior year at college, for Kansas, he only averaged 3 points per game. He decided to enter the transfer portal after that and play for DePaul, where he did average 9 points per game, 2 rebounds, and an assist per game there. After his senior year at DePaul, still had some eligibility, from COVID or wherever, and he decided to go to Grand Canyon, where he actually had 2 years of eligibility because he played the last 2 seasons at Grand Canyon. So that is 3 teams: Kansas, DePaul, and Grand Canyon. That honestly could be a 4th team if you want to talk about the JUCO team that he was on. Definitely could add that in there as well. But he has entered the transfer portal again this year, trying to get his waiver accepted by the NCAA. And if it does, he will be playing for Gonzaga next season. Do you guys think that Tyon Grant Foster should get his waiver approved? I mean, he started playing college basketball in JUCO in 2018. I honestly think, he had an awesome run at Grand Canyon. I say call it there as far as college basketball. If he does get it accepted for Gonzaga, I'm not going to be mad about it, but I think it is time to give it up for Tyon Grant Foster. He's had a lot of years of eligibility, but let me know what you guys think about all these guys. Is there another player that entered the transfer portal this offseason and have joined their 4th, 5th, even 6th team of college basketball? I know that there's more players out there that I probably missed and more players that have done this in past years. I'm mainly talking about who accomplished this feat this offseason. Let me know down below in the comment section. I'd love to look up some more players that have done this. But yeah, guys, that is it. Subscribe if you guys are new, and thank you so much for watching.